Good morning and welcome to Saturday special of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Just a few days back, I heard about the UK Intellectual Property Office bringing out a new study and I immediately went into it. This study is different since it explores the gender profiles worldwide as far as human ingenuity, inventiveness, innovation is concerned. And it was found that the overwhelming majority of patents were filed by men. As usual, the gender equality has no meaning in inventions as well. There are outstanding examples. And would you believe last year, that is in 2018, female inventors as were associated only with 13.07% of all global patent applications. 13.07, let's say 14%. Rest all 86% by the man. And then you talk of gender equality. You would say, well, this is a merit. No, it's not. It's availability of facilities to women or to men, which enables them to use their brains for being innovative and coming out with inventions. And as a matter of fact, in the United States and in the United Kingdom, the proportion of female inventors and patents stood at 10.04 and 9.44%. So in UK it's much less, just 9.44. And USA, which considers itself to be paragon of liberty, gender equality, Me Too movement originated as empowerment of women. All that, only 10.04. And if you look at those countries which you call third world countries, backward countries, they have a much higher female share of inventions, particularly in Africa. You call Africa a dog continent? The study found that Togo, a very small country in Africa, has the highest proportion of female involvement in patents. 57.14% are by the females. And if I go to the second country, Uganda, 44.55%. Now compare 57.14% with 10.04% of USA. Would we call USA to be a paragon of gender equality as compared to Togo? And when we want to talk of the third world countries, we always say Uganda, Togo. And not only that, okay, look at Liberia. Now, Liberia has 38.89%, while Latvia, again, a very backward country in Europe, has 39.05%. Rwanda has been in news recently because of terrorism, because of female genital harassment, I'll call it, mutilation, genital mutilation, exactly so, and lot of killing. And there, female inventors are 37.5%. Cuba, you don't consider Cuba at all, it's a communist country, it's a backward country. They are 36.73%. Botswana, 35.71%. Sri Lanka, 34.22%. And the list goes on, and it's only the African countries and Asian countries which come on the top. And in Asian countries, it's not Japan, it's not China, it's not South Korea, which are considered to be economic giants. No, these are countries like Sri Lanka, these are countries like Bangladesh, which are at the forefront of females outstripping, not by a foot, but by a mile, men, as far as intelligence being employed useful is there. Now you would ask, why is it that when all the facilities are available in so-called developed countries, where human happiness index may be very low, but economic index is very high, and in those countries where economic index is very low and human index is also low, but those countries have more inventiveness, particularly in women. You see, we always say that adversity is the best teacher. There, the situation is so adverse that out of necessity, they have got to be invented. And then there's a natural bent of mind. I'll give you two examples. In India, there was a woman, or rather a girl of 13 years, who wanted to go to school, and there was no school near her house. The nearest school at that time, I'm talking of the time, maybe about 15 years back, yes, in Bihar, the school was at a distance of 10 kilometers. There was no bus, there was no vehicle, she had to cycle all the way. And she would get tired, so she said, why should I invent my own electric bike? So she set about, got some battery cells, and they would run out. So she prepared a dynamo herself, a motor she created, which when the cycle is moving, it would rub against the tire, and that would be converted into energy to drive the cycle. The girl got the UNESCO award for ingenuity, but that was all. But then there's another lady in India, Pinky Maheshwari. Her son challenged her one day that, look here, I'm hearing all the talk about sustainability. Why don't you do something? My paper and everything, they come from the trees, but then they are not replenished. So she made a paper as a matter of challenge from cotton. And what she did was, here's the ingenuity, she embedded cotton seeds in that paper. So when the paper was written, after it had been written and it was waste, you could just plant that paper and the seeds would sprout. So that is ingenuity. That is innovativeness. And that is there because of the need. Secondly, those countries, African and Asian countries, have a heritage, a rich heritage which goes back thousands and thousands of years of invention, of ingenuity, of capability. The genes are there. They were not allowed to come forth in the full bloom. And the result is that inherited capability enables them to come up and face the situation. And that is why you would find great ingenuity in those countries, but not in the countries which are economically giving all the facilities, but there's no challenge. So when does ingenuity come? When does innovativeness come? When does mind become more inventive? When it faces a challenge. If there's no challenge, then it is static. But if you have got to do something and you know that your resources are limited, that you do not have anything to depend on, then you find ways and means. And that is why in the top 10 countries with the most female inventors between 1998 to 2017. The first in the top 10 countries is all backward countries: Togo, Uganda, Latvia, Liberia, Rwanda, Cuba, Botswana, Sri Lanka, Papua New Guinea, and Georgia. 29.5% is Georgia. And then, way down comes United States and United Kingdom. So this sort of a thing, basically, is the result of deprivation. And deprivation coupled with human capability to face and overcome challenges. Gender equality is not something that can be taught in a classroom or talked about in House of Commons by making pious statements. It's a state of mind. Now, this girl who invented her own dynamo and made her own dynamo was helped by her father, who was a rickshaw puller. And then they went to a workshop, and then there, an electrician working helped them evolve that motor, which rubbing against the tire running would generate energy to run the cycle. So it became an electric cycle. There was then no battery. It was all manual. The only transformation was a small transformer, which was converted that vibrations into energy. So that was the need. And necessity is the mother of invention is an old adage. Secondly, it's a state of mind. We say the women are exploited in the third world countries, in Africa, in India, Asia. No, it's not. Let's not forget that that exploitation, which we call exploitation in a manly word, is there. I don't deny that. But at the same time, the real power is with women. They are empowered to take decisions. A woman in a Western country doesn't have that power which a mother has in India. And it's not a matriarchal society, let me tell you. It's a patriarchal society, and yet the real boss is the mom. Fathers always say, go and ask your mom. They never say, I'll do it. As the mom decides, automatically. So that innate empowerment is there. And then, since she's shouldering the responsibility, both from the stand of view of earning and sustaining the family, you're keeping the family together. She has to think of ways and means how to get her. Maybe she's a sole bread earner. In northeastern India, if you go to the office, you'll find only the women. Men are at home, 90%. In a stupor, drug-induced stupor. But then that's the way they live. So women have a capability. And even otherwise, what happens is the availability of facilities dulls the luster of imagination. Too easy a life is no challenge. So you have to create hardships if you really want to do something. And I say, hats off, or shall I say, turbans off to the women in the third world countries who are outstripping men in a manner which is exemplary and laudatory. I wish this sort of a gender equality was visible everywhere. Don't you think so? Thank you.